Need to remove the Mower deck on your Craftsman DLT2000 for maintenance, belt replacement, pulley and spindle repairs, or just deck cleaning. This procedure works on many DLT2000, LTs, and any AYP-built ride and lawn tractors with similar deck designs. So let me show you how we get from this to this. The first thing to do is to get these scalping wheels as high up as possible. The front one here has a pin. We just remove the cotter pin, pull it out, and this will go up. You could put the pin and the cotter pin back in if you're worried about losing it, or you could just leave it out. Back one here has a nut and bolt, and it's the same configuration on the other side. Next, you want to release the tension on the belt, and it's done with this lever over here. Be careful when releasing this, it has spring tension. We'll loosen this. Okay. Now, according to the manual, to remove this plate that's under here, you have 4 pins. There's one on this side, one on the other side, and 2 in the back. I'll bring it to the back end now. And you have these pins over here. This cotter pin on top has to be pulled out. The pin on the bottom has to be removed. One on the other side also. Once both of these are removed, this plate will come right out and it'll no longer be in your way. And you want to lower the deck as far as it can go. And again, this one has a bolt, this one has a pin. So somebody removed this deck at least once because these are reversed. Now I'm going to remove that cotter pin and the bolt and remove that plate. Once I'm done with that, I'll show you what's next. I just removed these 2 pins. Let me show you where I pulled them from. See how this deck is lowered? With this deck lowered, the stabilizer bar is hard to get off. So what I had to do was raise the deck again, and it exposes this bar. This pin was used to hold this bar in right here. It goes on this knob right in here. Deck is raised, this is exposed. The next pin I pulled was from over here. There's a pin over here, there's a cotter pin over here. There's one up front on the other side of this lever. So you have 2 on this side, 2 on the other side. Once these 2 pins are removed, I'll be raising the deck, pushing it forward so I can get the belt off the clutch, and then I'll be sliding it out. When you're installing these pins back into the deck, down there to that plate, I want to point this out. They have a slot in the pin itself, and the reason for that slot is it lets you know where the hole for the cotter pin is. Otherwise you'd be fishing around looking for it. So if you put it in like this, you know the hole's right over there. I want to point this out. So we have this out, that out. Let me get these pins out and we'll get to it. Once you get all 4 pins out from the bottom, pull the deck lever all the way up so you get that bracket to come up, and now we'll slide this deck out. When you're pulling the deck out, you want to pull it from the right hand side. That's the chute side. Okay. Slide the deck up to get the belt off the clutch, and then just pull it out. When I have the front wheels turned a little to the left. Okay, I'm hung up on something here. Let's see. Let's see what we hung up on here. Okay. I don't know if the camera's picking up. In the back there's the bracket that raises the deck that's connected to this lever. It's down slightly. I'm just going to go to the other side and push that up, and this deck will slide right out. Now that I have this deck out, I'll point out a few things when you go to reinstall it. This is that stabilizer bar where it connects to a pin and that's connected to a bracket that's on the machine itself. And when you slide this deck back under, you want to make sure the bar is facing this direction, otherwise you'll have to pull it out and put it back in again, or take the nut off and switch it around. You can see this deck, it's been hasn't been used in quite some time. The rust that's on these belts is from the pulleys. Like I mentioned, it's been at least 3 years that I know of this mower hasn't been used. I mentioned this earlier, but I want to point it out again. When you put in this front plate on, this goes on the inside. This goes on the inside of the deck bracket. This pin slides in, and remember that notch, remember that slot? It shows you where that hole is for the carter pin. When you slide it in, the carter pin is going to be between the bracket and the mounting hardware. It doesn't come on the inside, it goes in between. I'm just pointing that out because that could be a little confusing. Normally, the pin would be at the end, but this one is over here so it doesn't slide out. Well, that's a wrap. If you have any questions or comments or any other videos that you would like to see pertaining to this deck or this unit, mention it down below in the comment section, and if possible, I'll get to it. If you enjoyed the video, found it useful, give it a like. It does help. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Hit that Joe Z button. And until next time, happy mowing and stay safe.